Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit with your boy Sophisticated Jerkin. Today, man, I wanted to cover, Diddy. I saw he just recently got sentenced to 4 years in prison. So the whole baseline that I wanted to kind of cover, because I know y'all gonna hear me say this and it sounds like a broken record, but shit, it's gotta be said, man, because a lot of men keep going down, especially dudes that be getting in power and stuff. And they're getting caught up with women and stuff because they keep chasing their desires, man, and they get caught up in some weirdo shit. And these guys, because they hit a high position in life or they get a lot of money, they kind of start feeling like they untouchable and stuff. And, it's just been taking them all out. I know earlier this year, Shannon Sharp got caught up, lost contracts. We see it with a lot of athletes and stuff like that. So at this point, it's just borderline sad that men just, you know, they don't develop no game that way that and attract females that actually like them. So, they get caught up in this position of where they gotta start buying females to come around them, pretty females and stuff like that. And I've been saying this for the longest. This is why I always had a lot of pushback for like red pill and even that high value man concept, with Kevin Samuels, because I was just like, man, if you don't develop your mindset, like if you couldn't really get the females before and then all of a sudden you get status or you get money, it's like, yeah, you're gonna bring in a lot of females, but a lot of those females are gonna kind of start coming at you for the wrong reasons, or a lot of guys that have that like trick mindset, kind of like for example, Diddy, when they start getting women around them, it's almost like they're resentful for the fact that they can't attract women the right way. Like a guy that's attractive or something that got game, he's pulling at women that actually like him. And he's not he doesn't have to fund their lifestyle and all that crazy stuff. So it's like a person like Diddy that eventually when they get that power and stuff, and they have to, like I said, start tricking on women to like lure them in. It's almost like they're resentful for the fact that they do that. So that's why, like a guy like him, he puts hands on women. He's doing all that humiliation type stuff. So this is why, like, I always try to tell women too. I'm like, hey, y'all see them rich guys, man? You better make sure that they got character and stuff, because you might be materialistic, but you get with a guy like that, man. There's something off in their mindset. It's a psyche thing. So a lot of people, a couple months ago, I posted one where like tricking is a mental illness. Everybody's like, damn, man, why are you going on there? You should be counting nobody's pocket. I'm like, nah, this is the type of mindset a lot of people have. They might not be on this extreme, but a lot of those guys, they hate being in that position. So like I said, they kind of resent the fact that they're there because they know the woman is there to use them. So they start like, doing all this humiliation stuff. Dudes start becoming cuckolds and all this weird shit. And then also, a lot of those guys, they tend to jump from woman to woman because, like I said, at the end of the day, they know like they're paying. So they just get bored easy. They hop on to the next. So a lot of women be like, damn, he left me in the rears. But it's just like, nah, you get this prototype of man. So I'm only talking specifically about these guys that be like in this extreme. Like, but let me go ahead. Let me pull up this news clipping because they kind of break down the 4 years and stuff like that. So yeah, he done went out bad, and he'd been involved in a lot of, like I say, controversy over the years. So a lot of people were saying like, eventually caught up with him. So I was thinking about it earlier. It's like, him, Suge Knight went out pretty bad. So yeah, that's why it's just like, man, when you get in the business world, man, you got to do right by people, man. Like I said, stop chasing your desires and stuff. Try to attract the right people that actually like you for who you are and stuff. And man, just leave this shit alone. Cause yeah, like I said, Suge Knight, Diddy now. It's like, man, they going out sad, man. And they just had that award or that like background around them that, they just did a lot of people wrong and dirty. So like now you're seeing how they're getting caught up in the news and stuff, and ain't a lot of people feeling too sad for them because of that, how they kind of rocked out over the years. So let me go ahead, let me pull this up, and we'll break it down between
the sentencing of Sean Diddy Combs, a judge handing down a 4-year sentence for the rap mogul convicted on 2 prostitution-related charges. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky was there and has more on the emotional moments in the courtroom. Aaron, when Combs pleaded for mercy from the judge.
He did, Janae, and he really wanted to be tasting freedom right now, but the judge refused to release him. Now his lawyers tell us the judge got it wrong. They're preparing to appeal.
This morning, Sean Combs is behind bars, sentenced to 4 years in prison for transporting women and male escorts across state lines for prostitution.
He can't be stopped now, cause it's bad boy for life.
Combs begged for mercy, telling the judge, "I know that I've learned my lesson." But the judge rejected his plea, saying the sentence needed to send a message to abusers and victims alike that exploitation and violence against women is met with real accountability.
It was clear from the judge's remarks that
Let me stop right there. And, like I know a lot of times, like these people that get in music industry, for example, like his label is Bad Boy. There's other ones that got the mafia in the name. It's like, man, when you start like slapping those type of labels on yourself and you're involved in street shit, man, when you get in stuff, man, ain't nobody gonna hear no mercy. So like I said, he's kind of been involved with a lot of stuff going back to, like the Biggie, Tupac, all those controversies and stuff like that happened in them things. And, all the stories that people been kind of linking him to those. Like I said, allegedly, I don't know what happened, but, it's like, eventually people are gonna, especially like the law enforcement, they're gonna find that opportunity to get at you. So that's why, man, like I said, you just need to do good business, stay away from all the nonsense. It might be a slower path. You might not make as much money, cutting corners and doing some of this crazy stuff, but you ain't gonna have to be mixed into none of this stuff, especially like getting 4 years when you're in your 50s, man. It might seem like a short sentence, but like I said, when you start getting at that age, man, when you should be enjoying your money, enjoying your family around you, and them 4 years could are actually a lot more than what they seem. If he was like in his 20s, then yeah, that wouldn't be a ton, but nah, in your 50s, that's a lot of time.
sentence was driven by the conduct the jury rejected.
Combs was acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, but federal prosecutors argued he deserved 11 years in prison because he inflicted life-altering violence on women. And they said that physical abuse is on video, pointing to this 2016 hotel surveillance footage depicting Combs attacking Cassie Ventura. How could the judge be blind to that?
Yeah, and just even seeing that clip, man, that, if you got the mindset to do that to like a female, something's off. So I can't even be mad that they came at him like this. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I said something ain't right in his mindset, that when you seen that video, it's like, oh yeah, something's off with dude.
Not punish him for the sum total of his conduct.
Well, the judge was allowed to take that into consideration, but what was clear from the judge's remarks was that he was going way beyond that.
Combs said, "I have been humbled and broken to my core," before apologizing to his children and tearfully telling his mother, "You raised me better." Is Sean Combs a changed man? You've been with him so.
And let me pause right there. And that's the thing. Like a lot of people, when they get mixed up in this stuff, and that's why I do a lot of these videos and breakdowns. I'm like, man, if you got kids, man, you have to tighten up. Man, you got to lead by example and stuff, because I think he has daughters too. And it's just like, man, I wouldn't want nobody putting their hands on my daughter or doing some of this stuff to my daughter. So I'm not going to do shit that, I only got a son, but if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want nobody doing that type of stuff. So I damn sure ain't going to do it. And even the fact that I don't have a daughter, I still wouldn't do anything that I wouldn't want to happen to, like if I did have a daughter or any of my nieces or something like that. But it's just like now, he done embarrassed his mom with this stuff. They got to come in there. They're trying to be supportive, but it's like, man, they're dragged into it. I know when they was like doing the search and warrant at his house, his kids got wrapped into it. So that's what a lot of like people that are just self-centered and they start chasing those desires. It's like, man, your whole family gets sucked up into your nonsense, man. They got to wear the shame, the embarrassment. They got to see this. They got to be responding to all this stuff. So, man, this is why you just got to straighten up. You might have those temptations, but man, you got to stay away from it. For me, like if you become a parent, it's like, yeah, I got to leave all that stuff alone. Like if you want to be mixed into all that bullshit, don't have kids, man. It's just that simple.
Long through this entire year-long prosecution.
I can say from the bottom of my heart, more than I think anybody else truly on this team can say, that he is a changed man.
How do you?
The defense played an 11-minute documentary-style video showing Combs as a doting father and a philanthropist. The judge acknowledged his impressive career and commendable charity work, but imposed the 4-year sentence, saying a history of good works can't wash away the record in this case, which showed that you abused the power and control that you had over the lives of women you professed to love dearly.
Defense attorneys told us they would appeal Combs's conviction, try to get his sentence reduced. And we heard from one of the jurors who told us Combs got off easy. This juror, who acquitted him of more serious charges, said 10 years would have been more appropriate, guys.
Dramatic and difficult trial and sentencing. Aaron, thank you. We appreciate it.
The sentencing.
But y'all hear, man, like even some of them people were like, shit, he should have got more years. And that ain't nobody, like, even though he did some like charitable work, like they said, they ain't trying to hear it. Because it's just like, man, what you kind of have on record and stuff. And, you know, a lot of people been hearing the stories going back to days of how, like I said, how he supposedly conducted business, man. So, you know, that's kind of hard to get out of people's minds when they sitting in that thing and then they see like a pattern of stuff that kind of built up in that video. They're like, this is a pattern. So that's why, like, a lot of people sometimes I got that impulsive behavior. Like I said, they got that like something wrong in their mindset. They start feeling like they're untouchable and they go out through all those years and they kind of create a pattern. So it's just like it's only a matter of time before something happens where like law enforcement grabs it and they're like, they just lay it out. So that's what happened in his case. It's just like, they're like, nah, you getting that smoke because, you know, did this, and this. And then, you know, by them being in that freaky shit, hiring prostitutes and they had them going to like different areas where they were at. You know, that's where they kind of got them on them charges. So that's why I be telling people, I'm like, man, y'all keep doing all this crazy stuff. And going back to, like I was saying earlier, where I had pushback on like the high value mail and even some of the red pill was just like, you know, they pitched like, oh, once you get your money, man, you know, you get the women. And shout out to Lucario and Miles and stuff and Game God Goldie. Those type of dudes was always telling guys like, man, you got to develop the mindset too, and get the woman that likes you. So there was a portion of guys that was saying this type of stuff. It was like, y'all need to slow it up, man, because y'all just going to start pulling in women and y'all going to go crazy. Because I know, what's his name from Fresh and Fit, Myron. He had the analogy like a lot of guys that were bad with women say they built themselves up. They came into money. They're like a kid in a candy store, you know, and they're just going crazy and stuff. Well, you know, that's the issue with that. It's just like, man, you can't start going crazy because when you start stepping out of them boundaries and stuff and you step over it, man, that's where you're getting caught up. And you're seeing even some of the females like with Shannon Sharp's case where, you know, these females could spot your desperation and your undisciplined in certain areas where they're going to come in and, man, they could start making them allegations, building the case on you. And now they holding you damn near for ransom, like the girl did in Shannon Sharp's case, where she's like, okay, I got all this stuff, man, you better give me all this bread or I'm going to the public with it. You know, they writing tell-all books and stuff. So yeah, these high value men are taking L's out here. But all right, y'all, man, I just wanted to touch this real quick because like I said, man, it's been sad seeing these like music moguls going out like this. Like I said, Suge Knight, Diddy. And man, shout out to Mace, man, for getting the fuck away from all this. Cause I'm actually gonna do a video breakdown, man. We owe Mace an apology. That's gonna be the title of it. Cause Mace saw a lot of this stuff. He walked away from the game, and now I'm kind of to see why, you know, he kind of left Bad Boy in his prime. Everybody thought Mace was crazy, but Mace was like, I'm seeing too much stuff. And we starting to see like Russell, what's the one from Def Jam? Russell Simmons. So he was caught up in some shit. So that's why I'm saying a lot of these guys, man, they going down like dominoes and shit. But it's all a lot of them because of women are trying to be a gangster and shit instead of doing business right. So we're seeing it play out more and more, y'all. So keep your business tight, man. Stop being thirsty and get some goddamn game. Like, if the women don't like you and they ain't there for the right reasons, man, stop the tricking shit. Cause I'm telling you, man, tricking don't work out, man. You gonna resent that stuff and you just gonna fall into the wrong category. But all right, y'all, man, peace.